Seconds before another propeller. What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. And welcome to Setup Saturday. We're going to finish up this 4-inch build and get it all set up with all the current 2021 stuff. BL Heli 32.8, hopefully. No guarantees that this HGLRC ESC will work with it, but it should. So far, the only ESCs that haven't been able to do 32.8 are the Hobbywing ESCs, which is kind of crazy. I've been hating on Hobbywing for a long time, and everybody's been telling me that I'm crazy, but interestingly enough, lately I've seen nothing but blown up Hobbywing ESCs. And classically, the only people that I've really seen saying how great they are people that have been sponsored by them. So I don't know. I've had 5 of them blow up on me. On the 4th one, I said no more, and I had 1 extra, and then it went too. So Acon for life, man. If you're buying any other electronics, other than Acon, you're out of your mind. In the chat, Riot9, Maniac FPV, BH hitting. Metal Dirtskin, Hillside FPV, BH, Sack for Save, Propaganda X, FPV Trekker, Kathy McKibben, Northern Tier FPV, Adrian Brown 89, Finn FPV, Banshee Frenzy, Rob Axelson, and Maniac FPV. What's up, friends? FPV Trucker says, happy Saturday. Sacramento says, I haven't seen CiottiFPV in a minute. What's up, brother? Oh, I've been here, man, every day. I'm good, man, you? Adrian Brown is happy to be here live. Banshee Frenzy says, hey. Rob Axelson says, good evening. All right, so let's just dive into it. Shit, caught up on chat. I'm going to take advantage of that. I think I might have like one or two little things to kind of finish up here. Let me just get these propellers off. It's just kind of putting those on last night to give everybody the sense of satisfaction seeing the finished build. So camera is screwed down. Stack is mounted. Got these little fellas. Oh, let's prep this antenna. Let me show you guys how I prep antennas so that they don't explode. So the first thing that you need to do on the antenna that you're using is figure out where the seam is. There's always a seam on the antenna. It's usually either at the top corner or on the bottom corner. On these little Foxy or Lollipops, it's on the bottom corner. And what'll happen is if you smack this thing into the concrete a couple times, it'll knock the cover right off of it, and then you're just done. So we're going to take a little piece of heat shrink, and we're going to put it on the top and the bottom of that seam so that it has a little bit more of a chance of surviving. So I'm also going to put a piece of shrink wrap here on the TPU 45-degree piece where it meets with the antenna, just to kind of sure that up a little bit. So I'm going to cut two pieces off of here. One of them is going to be a little bit longer. So this is the one that I'm going to use for down there. Yeah, it's about the right length. And then I'm going to use a smaller one for the seam of the antenna. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, how the hell are you going to get shrink wrap? Are you going to get that shrink wrap over the head of the antenna? Well, shrink wrap, believe it or not only does it shrink down, but you can stretch it bigger. So you just got to be careful. So put it in some needle nose pliers, and then just pull on it nice and gentle, and then rotate it. That's the key. You want to make sure that you stretch this stuff out evenly. And the other kind of trick is that as soon as you stop stretching it, it starts to try to go back to its original size. So you got to get it off there and get it up over the head of the antenna as quick as you possibly can. And there we go. There's one. Now I'm going to do the other one. And believe it or not, when these shrink back up, they're going to shrink back to the original size and then some. So like by doing this, so shrink wrap is rated in its ratio. Typical shrink wrap is 2 to 1. So it shrinks up to half of its original size, 2 to 1. This is actually 3 to 1 shrink wrap. And by stretching it out like this, we're not changing any like actual properties of the shrink wrap. You know what I mean? Like it's still going to shrink up 3 to 1 from its original size. So you can really stretch this stuff out big, and then it'll shrink down quite a bit, and you're about to see that. So here, see how I'm rushing? It's already starting to go back to its original size, and it's becoming harder to get it over the rest of the antenna, but I almost have it. Almost got it, almost got it, almost got it. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, there we go. All right, so let's do the, let's go bottom to top. We're gonna do the one on the TPU. Whoa, oh, that's cool. This rig stands up. Yeah, we're gonna do the one that is firming up the connection between the TPU and the antenna first. The UFL part of the antenna, I should say, which is this guy down here. So we're just gonna put this roughly where we want it. You can use a lighter or you can use a heat gun. I actually prefer a stupid little like $2 torch from a gas station. mainly because you can just kind of keep it far away, and it's just like a scalpel, man. You can really be super targeted with it, and just slowly but surely get it onto the spot that you want it. So again, the point of this piece is to try to also grab this UFL. So I want it sort of half on the TPU, half on the UFL itself. All right, starting to shrink up. So now it's basically back to its original size before we stretched it out. So now it's going to shrink up 3 to 1. I'm really digging this, for the record, I'm really digging this 3 to 1 shrink wrap. It's really nice that it has the extra shrinkage. Okay. And it's interesting, like, as it shrinks more and more, you gotta hit it with more and more heat. Like, it shrinking down from the stretched, to its original dimension, you only have to give it like a tiny little bit of heat. But then to get it shrunken all the way down here, you gotta really get it hot. Which, again, I actually kind of like, because using this little torch, it gives you a lot of control. So there we go. Oh, wait, shit. Nope. Ah, it slipped up and off. Damn it. I didn't even realize that. It pulled itself off of the TPU, and it is now useless. So I'm actually going to cut it off, and we're going to do it again. I'm going to pull this... Oh, shit, this one's already on here. Well, that's okay. So, wow, I've never seen it do that before. I've done this quite a bit. Cool, we learning. Gots to be careful. It tries to squish itself off of the TPU. So that's the other kind of thing you got to be careful of when you're putting heat on it like that. You're also putting heat into the TPU, and TPU has a low melting point. So you just got to sort of be careful. I bet you that's what happened. I bet you the TPU got hot, and the TPU got a little liquidy, and then that let this guy just... shoop, just kind of pull itself right off of there. I'm also going to cut a little bit longer of a piece this time, because the last thing I'm going to do is put a zip tie onto this shrink wrap, which will hold onto the UFL even better. Because that's the main thing that I'm trying to do, is just make sure that when eventually what's going to happen is the head of this antenna is going to get stuck between two branches, and it's going to pull really hard. So if you have a really firm connection here on this TPU holding this antenna, that's going to make sure that the UFL head of the antenna doesn't get ripped off of the VTX. When I finished this build up last night for the patrons, I made sure to put a big blob of welder on the head of the UFL, which helps a little bit, but this is really how you want to retain the UFL. Let's shrink this guy up here on the bottom of the antenna, real quick, like. And that's all there is to it. You just want something on the seam of the antenna to give it a little bit more grab. So there you go. You can barely see it because the shrink wrap is clear. But yeah, it's on that seam, and it's just going to give it a little bit more retention of the cap. Rob Axelson, this is the QAVS Mini with 2004s. Alright, so let's... Newbie Drone 2004s, 2400 kV. Probably going to be a little bit too low of a kV for 4S, but my fingers are crossed. I have a feeling this is going to end up needing 6S. This has the HGLRC electronics that they sent over to me, so this is going to be one hell of a test of those electronics. So again, we're just stretching out this shrink wrap in order for it to go over the head of the antenna. And so you stretch, 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 and then as quickly as possible you take it off because it tries to shrink back to its original shape, get it over the head of the antenna, and there we go. So let's try this again with feeling this time. So the initial little bit of heat that you put on it is going to get it to come back to its original size. And then we're going to hammer it with heat to get it to shrink all the way. And all right, that's pretty much exactly where I want it. Let's give it some heat. Being careful this time not to get the TPU too hot. That's better. That's much better this time. Okay, cool. So there we go. So now I'm going to put, once this cools down, I'm going to put a shrink wrap. I'm sorry, this is the shrink wrap. I'm going to put a zip tie on this part right here so that the shrink wrap grabs onto the UFL itself and prevents the UFL from getting yanked out and ripping off. When you do this little trick that takes all of, what, 2 whole minutes, UFLs are a lot more durable than MMCXs when you do this. I was all about MMCXs when they first kind of came out, and then I had like 3 or 4 of them break inside of the goddamn VTX, and I wasn't able to get them out, and I had to trash the whole VTX, and I said, you know what, never again. This is stupid. So yeah, there's that. All right, so we're just gonna throw this zip tie around there and just crank it down as hard as it'll go. And that, my friends, is how you prep a UFL antenna to actually hold up. This is the way I do it on all of my 5-inch rigs, and man, I had a period where it felt like every time I flew, I was blowing up a $20 antenna, and like it got really expensive really fast. And then each time it happened, I kind of like looked at it and kind of saw like what was blowing up, and I tried to improve it. And then it happened again, and I tried to improve it. And then it happened again, and I tried to improve it. And over the course of like 6 months of doing that, I was able to kind of figure out what the hell was going on. And now, I don't really blow up antennas all that often. The only time that I blow antennas up is when I hit them hard enough to knock the plates on the inside of the antenna out of alignment. We also need to get a little bit of UMA grip on here. So let's get that going. And I need to use the tall UMA grip because this top plate is not. This top plate has these button heads on it, so I need the UMA grip to be high enough so that I'm not pulling the battery down into these button head screw heads. So I'm going to use the OG thick black UMA grip. Spudnik says, you ever think about doing a live stream in the field testing quads? I have. Unfortunately, I don't have much data per month on AT&T. But maybe someday, if I can get something going with a bunch of data. All right, looks like I'm caught up on chat. Okay, so battery strap is going to go roughly here, although it is actually going to go a little bit farther back. So I would like to do. I'm tempted to do a big old piece to cover this whole area, but I don't know. Let's go like this. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it right on the exclamation point. Question is how wide do I cut it? Let's go about halfway. So let's go to about, what are we thinking? Right about here? Yeah, let's go to here. That's a nice big chunk. That's a nice big chungus of grip. I still have to put grip on the rip squeaks. Actually, I completely forgot to put it on there, and then when I went out and flew it, every time I crashed, I came back and the battery was all over the goddamn plates. It's unbelievable how good of a job grip does at keeping the battery from moving around. It's really like it's just one of these like absolutely essential products to have if you're going to be building your own stuff. Even if you're going to be, I mean, that's not even true. If you're going to be flying FPV, straight up, like even if you're buying rigs for manufacturers that put the stupid rubber pads on there, no, get that nonsense off of there. Those rubber pads from like Impulse RC are incredibly heavy. One of the great things about grip is it's not. It's like shockingly light for how much material it is. Alright, so this is just going to go right there. And that should be, yeah, that's going to be wide enough. Cool. To really stick on there. I mean, the other option would be to put it here, but no, we're not doing that. Because I think the battery is going to be roughly there. So I'm putting it really dead on where I think the battery is going to go. And so let's just get that lined up there. Wait, you know what? Let me do this. Let me cut the corners. I like to cut a little angle on the corners when there's screws, so that you can kind of just put it ever so slightly past the screw heads. And especially in this case where I think the battery is going to be a little bit farther back, that should be kind of nice. There we go. That's what I want. And down. Cool. We are gripped. I need a battery strap for this, and I think I need one that's a little bit long. Where the hell's the one that this comes with? Maybe that one's long enough. Let's see. What's up, Expander? How are you, man? Okay. Spudnik, the other thing that's holding me back from doing that is the laptop's not really set up for streaming quite yet, but it will be at some point here. So once the laptop is my main machine in here that I'm using for all the streams, it'll be a lot easier to just throw it in my bag and bring it with me. Come on, man. Where did I know that this comes with battery straps here. Like here, yeah, this custom cut rubber piece, it's like really heavy. It's really heavy. What the hell did I do with the Luminaire battery straps that came with this? Are you kidding me? Did I eat them? Did it not come with a battery strap, maybe? It either didn't come with one or I ate it. So in either case, it's not a great situation. Let's see. So nope, that's not the right battery. This is the biggest battery that I've got for 6S. So let's see if an RDQ battery strap, an RDQ micro battery strap is big enough. I'll bet that it's not. I'll bet that it's not quite big enough, but only one way to find out. I think I am just going to do one single battery strap on this rig. You can usually get away with that on micros. Not always, but typically you can. And, okay. Let's get this guy in here. Get it into the little slot here. Oh man, this is a tight fit with this tarsier board being all high. There we go. Now we got it. So if this guy is hanging out here, oh boy. Oh, looks like it might actually be long enough. Oh shit. Nah, no it's not. Well, maybe. Nope. Not quite. Not quite long enough for the 650. Okay. What about the 550 and the 450? Let's see here. I maybe should have put the grip a little farther forward. Maybe it doesn't matter though. Let's see if I can get this battery strap pulled back a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right, so the 450 has to fit. Let's try the 550. 550 is kind of a fat boy. Oh my god. It's not gonna fit. What if I lay it flat? Is it less in one dimension than it is another, or is it a perfect square? So width-wise, it's 34 millimeters wide. In this dimension, it's 34 millimeters wide. So, it doesn't really matter. All right, let's see. Nah, not quite. Not quite. So the RDQ battery strap just ain't gonna work. That's only gonna work with this little 450, and I don't just want to test it with only this battery. So let me leave this 550 out. Oh shit! You know what? I gotta charge one of these batteries. God damn it! I totally forgot. Hold on. Hold on. Gotta get these batteries on the charger. Wow. I completely forgot about it. I just assumed that I would have batteries charged for some strange reason. Bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is a 5-cell. Oh, cool. I'm gonna give this 5-cell a shot as well. But I'm most interested in, where the hell did the 4S8? There they are. 4S650s are charged and ready to go. So I'm actually okay. But I'm pretty sure it's going to need the 6S batteries to really have that 2400 kV be enough, you know, for 4-inch. So I'm just going to get that going. I'm just going to make that assumption and get that going over here on the charger. So just give me a second. And getting these guys all plugged in here. All right, that's 3, and where's the 4th? There's the 4th. I'll use the 650 as the battery strap tester, so that if I can find a battery strap that fits that 650, it'll fit the rest of these totally fine. All right, we got one. Oh god, that one's charged. What? What? Wait, what? Which one's charged? Oh boy. This is why you don't just blindly plug batteries in. 24.7, that sounds like it's charged. Oh my god, how long has this thing been sitting here charged? I'm the worst. Okay, so this guy's charged. What about this one? This one's not. Okay, cool. So I am going to charge this little fella up. It looks like the GNBs got charged at some point. Let me double check that though. I'll be back. Give me a second. I'm just down here on the floor. 24.6, 4.08. That's like kind of charged. And then what about this one? How is the only one of these not charged? What the hell? 24.8. 4.12. Weird. Very weird. Alright, well, screw it. I'll charge this one up. Let me take it off of 15 amps. That would not be great. Let's go down to 2 amps. That'll be fine. Okay. I'll let that go. And wow, we've got a whole bunch of batteries that are charged for this thing. Very cool. We'll start off with 4S though, just to make sure that we don't shoot fireballs. What's up, Chomper? Athix says, how heavy is the rig? That's a really good question. Once I figure out the battery strap situation, I'll throw it on the scale. My guess is gonna be like 370, maybe 360. What other battery straps are there? Come on, man. Really? Don't get all hung up on everything. Just come out of there. Thank you. Okay. So I need one that's a little bit longer than this RDQ one, huh? Alright. What about... I swear to God this thing came with battery straps. Where the hell did they go? Where would I have put them? I thought I put everything back in the bag. There it is. Oh, it's way too small. Way, way, way too small. Okay. So... Apparently I'm kind of running low on battery straps, it would appear. What the hell? I have a BQE battery strap, but I don't want to waste that on a non-BQE rig. Waste is a strong word there. What the hell? What about... Come on, man, really? Do I not... How do I... What? How is this possible? What's going on here? Coming back in a second, boys and girls. What about one of these? What about one of these Project 399? Since it is kind of a long-range frame, kind of, sort of. What about one of these little guys? Ah! See now, this is going to be way too long. This is going to be like 10 miles long, and it's probably too thick. Problem that I have all the time. Let's just see. Tell me I can't finish a build because I don't have a goddamn battery strap, and I'm gonna light your head on fire. No, see, this is ridiculous. This is 10 feet too long. No, not really. It is gonna be too long for the other ones. Yeah, it is, this is too schlong. Schlong. How long is this one? Tell me this is a 25. Hey, this is a 25. Okay, so one of the ones that's less than 25 is gonna work. I think that means that one of these will work. Let's take a look here. Let's try one of these little run cam guys. This has a plastic buckle too, so it'll be nice and lightweight. Is this? No, this is too long as well, isn't it? This is another 250. Damn it! Ah! Wow, there's a chance I actually don't have a battery strap for this goddamn thing. That, if that's the case, I'm gonna scream. So turn the volume down because I don't know what's about to happen. What about one of these? God damn, my supply of battery straps has been decimated. What's this one? 25? Damn it. I used to have so many battery straps. And now I don't. Jeez. I might have to like pull one off of another rig for God's sakes. Oh, here we go. I think these Ethics ones are 225. Here we go. I think this is it. Nope, 25. Oh my god. I've never felt so unprepared in my FPV career as I do right now. What about this Ethics one? Maybe this one's shorter. Come on, B225. B225. Ah, close enough. 23. This is the shortest I've got at the moment. Could use 2 short straps license, but then there's going to be 2 metal buckles because the only short ones I have are metal buckled ones. And believe it or not, the weight of those metal buckles does add up. But luckily, I found a 230. So we are going to use this one and be good to go. Oh, you know what would work? The newbie drone strap. I think the newbie drone straps are 230-ish. So, all right, big boy battery going on here. I don't exactly know how I'm gonna mount this battery. That's gonna get all tangled up in the prop. Kind of have to do a little bit of thinking about where this thing comes up and out. Man, I kind of wish I'd run this battery strap out this little slot here. Kind of tempted to remove this standoff here and run this battery strap out the side. But, nah, it'll be okay. It'll be okay going under the flight controller. Because then I can just come up and hang out in there. Yeah, and that'll keep it out of the props. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Should be. Hold on, let's see. Oh, yeah. It's miles away. Okay, we're good. So, yeah, this is the big-ass battery. So it's basically going to need to get mounted like that, so that everybody can kind of reach. So let's just make sure. Yeah, there we go. That's not bad. Cool. Okay, that'll work. So with the big fat battery, which is actually it's a Tattoo R line, so it's not as fat as some of the others. Well, it's the lightest of the micro batteries. Oh, I was a little low. 287. 287 all up, ready to go. With the heavy battery. The battery that I really think that it should be flown on, though, is this 6S450, and with this fella, it's going to be a lot closer to my estimate, I'll bet. Yeah, there it is, 257, 257.6, very cool. Almost sub 250. Oh, that's without propellers, though. With the propellers, we are at, I was right on the nose, 268. 268. Yep, I was right on. I'd guessed 270, I believe. I think I said 260 to 270. Damn, yeah, right on 270. That's what the other 4-inch rig that I was testing a while back was. And yeah, it's just a little too light, realistically, for 4-inch. It's a little too floaty. It kind of flies like a toothpick, which is not the end of the world, but it's just not the flight experience that I'm personally looking for. I like rigs to mimic the flight characteristics of a 5-inch as much as possible. Okay, so let's do all the setup stuff with this. What do you guys say? We're going to start with BL Heli, and then we're going to dive into Betaflight at 8 o'clock. So in 20 minutes, this stream is going to transfer over to a Patreon-only after-party live stream. So let me see how much of this I can get done. Anything that I don't get done here on the public free live stream will be continued over on Patreon. It's going to cost you $3 whole. I know I'm asking an awful lot to join my Patreon page. I can pretty much guarantee you that you're going to get more value than $3 a month out of the Patreon itself. The first time that you don't buy a set of Nachi motors and waste $80, it's going to pay for my Patreon membership of yours for like the next year plus. So come on over, or when you read a bunch of my tech articles about how to demystify PID tuning and filter tuning and all kinds of really good stuff, you're going to love it. I promise. So this is the ViFly Smoke Stopper 2, and it has an on-off switch, which is amazing. And it's also right now set up to only push at 1 amp. So it's not going to dump a ton of electricity in there to get the ESC all hot. And that's how I like it. I like my ESCs nice and cold. Like I like my women. Cold and dead. Wait, what? That's not right. Did I say that out loud? I shouldn't have. Oh, are you kidding me? Does this use a USB 3? Please, no. Oh, thank God. Okay, no stupid USB 3. Okay, so here we go. Looks like the chat is blowing up, but I want to try to get this done before 8 o'clock here. So let me just dive into this. At some point when it's flashing, I'll have a second to check the chat. So now I'm just going to push the on button on the ViFly Smoke Stopper. Hey! Isn't that cool? And we are going to connect. And we're going to check. And if you look right up here, it's going to tell you the current version that the ESCs are flashed to. 32.7 is compatible with RPM filtering, but it's not compatible with high and low PWM, so we're going to flash it. So we're going to go right here to ESC flash, and then it always picks the most recent one, and then we're going to flash selected ESC. And now I can get caught up on the chat a little bit. Metal Dirtskin says, oh my god, has a 386S coming in his build, might be perfect for this. See his latest video. Yeah, we were talking about that on last night's stream, Metal. That's very cool. I'm super happy that they made that battery. 661 says set full send equals on. Oh, I said 360 to 370. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say 260 to 270. Daniel also says time to add a naked GoPro to weigh it down. Maybe if I end up keeping it, God knows what I'll do with it. It would actually be a decent candidate for that because the front arms are swung back, so in theory there'd be no prop in view. That's a really good idea. License to Drive says, I'm so annoyed, recorded 3 flights with SharkBite internal external HDMI Insta360 Go to compare SharkBite with HDMI, but I screwed up one small detail. HDMI recording captured the goggle feed, which was set to 4.3. Got to redo it tomorrow. Sounds like FPV. Blitz FPV says, do you think better quality FETs and other stuff across the board from electronics manufacturers is a key to achieving a better tuning experience according to KISS logic? There is some magic to better quality FETs. Better quality FETs have a lower switching time. So yeah, but that's one of the reasons why Acon electronics are so nice. They just use better stuff, and they don't waste a lot of money on marketing. So yeah, the best we can really get right now is Acon. But who the hell knows with some of this AM32 stuff? The future is kind of looking good for ESCs. B-Man says you're gonna love his nuts. Athix says, what 4-inch props are you looking to run? The only ones worth running are the GemFan 4023s. They are just phenomenal. And just like that, I am both caught up on chat, and we are flashed onto 32.8. So it looks like Hobbywing is still the only ESC manufacturer in the dark ages not allowing you to run PWM low and PWM high, and that's pretty sad, man, because this is a big deal. Some of the other things that I do in BL Heli, I turn brake on stop all the way up so that when I disarm, the propellers stop as quickly as possible. Startup beep volume, I turn all the way down to like 5 or 6. That's the initial plug-in, so I don't wake up my wife one room over in the middle of the night. Beacon signal volume, I actually turn this up. This is your ESC beeper, and with micros, they're not all that loud, so I turn that up. The beacon delay, I turn down to 3 minutes, so that if the ESC hasn't received any signals in 3 minutes, it's just gonna start beeping and saying like, hey, I'm getting hot, yo. Start flying me, or turn me off. Do something. And then we're gonna right set up, and that's gonna lock all that stuff in. Now, inside of BL Heli, 32 at least, you can test the motors. It's kind of, I mean, whatever. But, yeah, you can actually test your motors in here. So, let me see if they're in the right spots. They're not. They're assigned to the wrong locations. Yeah, they're completely wrong. So 1 and 2 are where 3 and 4 are. So let's just get out of BL Heli. I now know that all the motors are in the wrong spot. I'm just going to push the button on the ViFly smoke stopper, and now I no longer have power to the rig. So the VTX isn't getting hot. Flight controller's not getting hot. Everything's cool now. So we're going to jump into Betaflight. And I'm going to show you the absolutely asinine way that I reassign motors, but it works, and it works quickly. So you connect. I know that all the motors are in the wrong spot. So I come into the CLI, I type resource. It gives me the 4 motor resources. I copy, I'm going to zoom in for you guys. I copy motor 1. I know that they're all wrong, so I'm just going to mix them all up. Motor 1 BO4, I'm going to switch that to BO... So wait, motor 1 was back where motor 3 is. So I'm going to switch this to just, whatever, BO1. Let's try that one. And then I'm going to paste it in again, but I'm going to change it to motor 2. And I'm just going to change that to something else. Scroll up a little bit. So I already used BO1. Let me try BOO. And then I'm going to do motor 3. And I'm going to assign that to BO5, I guess. Yeah, let's try BO5. And then I'm going to do motor 4. And I'm going to put that on BO4. And then save. And now I'm going to push the button on the ViFly smoke stopper again to give this thing power. And now I'm going to come into Betaflight because it's a little bit quicker. I'm going to go into the motors tab, enable motors, and let's just see what the hell happened. And looks like number 1 is correct, number 2 is correct, number 3 and number 4 are incorrect. So we're going to hit this. We're going to go back into the CLI. We're going to type resource. Come on, CLI. We're going to type resource. We know that 3 and 4 are incorrect. So we're going to come in here. We're going to take motor 3. We're going to copy it, paste it. Instead of BO5, we want BO4. And then we're going to take motor 4 and put that on BO5. And we're done. the most insane way of reassigning resources, and yet again, this is the third or fourth time I've done this on the stream, yet again, it's taken less than like 2 minutes to do it, when all I care about is 3 and 4. 3 is now in the right spot, as is 4. So now we can check their rotation. That one is going in, so motor 1 is incorrect. Motor 2 is correct. And I'm just using the up and down arrows. You click the motor slider and then you use the up arrow to just get it spinning ever so slightly. Motor 3 is incorrect, so it looks like both rear motors are reversed. Motor 4. Oh, that's interesting. Motor 4 is incorrect. So everything is correct. Everything is incorrect other than motor 2. So now we're going to get out of here, get back into BL Heli 32, and we're going to reverse motors 1, 3, and 4. So we come in here and we connect, and zoom in a little bit for you guys, and we're going to check. And I just do these one at a time. I don't have much luck batching these. Motor direction from normal to reversed, right setup. Okay. Motor 2 was correct, but motor 3 was incorrect, so we're going to motor 3 go from normal to reversed, right setup. And then we want motor 4, we're going to go from normal to reversed, right setup. And now we're done in BL Heli. And yeah, we can disconnect. We'll recheck them in Betaflight, and away we go. And I'm going to hit the button on the Betaflight to remove power from the rig, just for the time being. Although actually, I'm just going to need to turn it right back on. And all right, turning it right back on here. Go into motors, accept the risks, and now we're just going to arrow up on the master tab to get them all spinning, so we can check them all at once. So motor 1 is rotating correctly, motor 2 is correct, motor 3 is correct, motor 4 is correct. And we're going to spin these motors up individually, because when motors are clean, that's the best time to get a feel for how much noise they make. After you start beating them up, this is your control. After you start beating these motors up, oh, the Betaflight tripped. So we asked the Betaflight for a little bit more than it could handle, and it tripped, which is awesome. That is exactly what we want. So yeah, really quickly, in order to spin these motors up, you probably can't be on the Betaflight, so we're going to go full voltage for the first time. Only 4S voltage, though. So you want to pick the rig up so that you can feel the vibrations in your hand, and then you're going to come into each individual motor and just spin it up. And just listen. And feel. Listen and feel. Cool. These are really well balanced motors. This is also a way of checking that you didn't get a bad motor right out of the box. So there we go. Now we really no longer need power to the rig. Now we can do the rest of our Betaflight setup. RC Ritter says, which bind and fly 4-inch with sub 350 Vista Crossfire Thinking Shocker 2204 3100. I don't know any of the bind and flies, unfortunately, RC Ritter. Nobody sends me anything, and I just can't afford to buy the bind and flies, so I don't really know any of them. I think RC Ritter, you've built a rig though or two. So I would actually build something. Typically the bind and flies will just like the ESC will be shitty, or the flight controller will be shitty, or the camera. You know, usually the bind and flies have like 1 or 2 things about them that kind of suck. I would custom build, and then you can build it for exactly what you want, right? If you want a long range rig, you can build it to be a long range specific. If you want a freestyle rig, you can build it freestyle specific. This build here is pretty dedicated towards freestyle. So yeah, just think about what you're gonna do with it, and then you can custom cater the build. If you need a hand, or if any of you guys need a hand with that process, that's actually one of the things that I do over on Fiverr. CiottiFPV.com has a million ways that you can support me. I am doing this full-time nowadays. So yeah, head on over there. One of the links over on CiottiFPV.com is to Fiverr, and over on Fiverr, one of the services that I offer is build planning. We can spend a half an hour or an hour talking about what you're looking to do with the rig, where you are as a pilot, who your favorite pilots are, like what style of flying do you want to emulate, and then I'll basically help you pick the exact right parts for that very specific use that you wanna have that rig for. June Logo says, "Can you do a video on how to set up GPS on Betaflight?" I can't, June, because I have no idea how to do it. I've never done it before. I'm not a long-range guy, so I don't have any knowledge on GPS or anything like that. What's up, Squints? BlitzFPV says, "What's better protocol to flash for dynamic filtering?" Wait, what? What is the better protocol to flash for dynamic filtering on Heli S? I don't know what you mean by protocol. I didn't know that there was an option. What's the better protocol? I don't know what you mean by... yeah, I'm not familiar with protocol within BL Heli, Blitz. I'm probably just smooth-brained. I'm probably just having a smooth-brained moment. Okay, so we got like 3 minutes before this public stream ends, and we jump on over to the Patreon after-party stream. So let me just blitz through this really quick. I'm going to give you guys the highlights of how I set tunes up. This is an shit, we got to get it on to 4.3. Well, I'm going to show you how to get your rigs flashed onto Betaflight 4.3, and then come on over to the after party. We're going to go through all of Betaflight. I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks that I've got to setting it up to fly nice and smooth. If you like the way that my footage looks in any of my edits, you're going to be able to see how. If you're not on my Patreon yet, it's going to cost you $3 whole. I know I'm asking a lot, but I also know that you can handle it. Let me do one thing real quick here. And come on, internet. Come on, internet. Come on, internet. Come on, internet. Come on, YouTube. Come on, YouTube. Come on, YouTube. Please. 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 Jesus. There we go. Okay. So here's how you flash to 4.3 unstable. It's almost out. The first thing you want to do is take a look at your target up here. I like to really quickly copy it into the clipboard, and then I'm super lazy, so I'll just open up like a new tab and just paste it into the URL, because I always have a Chrome window opened. So then you're going to go to Update Firmware, and you need to click this, Show Unstable Releases, and then you need to select Release and Release Candidate here, and then you need to pick the correct target. If you don't pick the correct target, all hell's going to break loose. Technically, you could brick the flight controller, but typically you don't. Typically, it doesn't brick. You just spend the next week trying to figure out why the weirdest shit keeps happening to you, and you can't get it up in the air. So this is HGLRC F722. There it is, HGLRC F22. Let's see if 4.3 is available. It is not. So no 4.3 for this target quite yet. That's a shame. But we'll just put it onto 428. That's fine. Load firmware online. Flash firmware. And hey, look at that. Good on you, HGLRC. You made your flight controller so that it automatically goes into DFU mode. Huge thumbs up. That's pretty much it. That's going to be the end of this daily public live stream. If you'd like the rest of my secrets, come on over to Patreon. It's only $3, and this is my career now, so I need everybody's help to be able to keep doing this. So if you like this content, gotta pay me $3. Or just enjoy the 30 to 60 minutes that I do publicly for free every day. Thanks for hanging out. Patrons, I'll see you in a minute. Here's some flying from the little 3-inch Rip Squeaks. out in front of the... No, wait, let's... hold on. This is a more interesting spot. This is the little 3-inch rip squeaks, 210 grams all up. And I'll see you patrons in a minute. Oh boy, it's halfway through the battery. All right, here you guys go. Be good.